Up in the box, sports cards fans. Welcome back to another episode of Batter Up with Brett and John. What is happening tonight, John?
Not too much. We are in for a very special treat tonight. We got a lot of great topics. Little did I know, the NBA draft is going on right now as we speak. Victor Wembanyama, whatever his name is, Victor W, the hottest thing ever. People paying $12,000 for his rookie autos. Insane. Not even on a licensed product. He went number 1 to the Spurs. My Indiana Pacers are about ready to pick. But we got a lot of topics to cover tonight. And speaking of the Pacers, they picked somebody who played with Victor Wembanyama. They picked Belial, whatever that guy's name is. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but they picked him.
I'm like you. I had no clue that was going on. I've been having a lot of fun. I just, I'm not watching ESPN much. I'm watching the MLB network, which is amazing. Had a fun day. Let me know in the comment section. I got a little mic today. Testing it out. I wanted to try it out before the National. So...
Where'd you pick that up? I might want to get one of those for the National. I do intend to go live both days because even though I don't have 1,000 subscribers, I guess they changed the rule. I think you only have to have like 100 subscribers to go live. So I planned on going live.
Yeah, I picked it up at Best Buy, mess around with it, talked to my mom. She said it sounded pretty decent, but holy crap, has there been a lot going on?
A lot.
Not only in the hobby, but in the world. And
Yeah.
before we get started on Fanatics, aka Tops, I just saw before we came on Dana White talking about Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg in a fight that they're like, it's semi-serious, like it might happen. Could you imagine? That would be a world spectacle, man.
Yeah.
Who would you put your money on? Elon or Zuckerberg?
I feel like Elon's taller. I'd probably put it on him, even though he's older.
I would too.
Yeah, I feel like the length and the reach would probably bode well for him, and I think he would. I don't know. I just feel like Zuckerberg would wuss out.
I could see that too.
He's a hell of a lot more rich than I am, so he'd probably kick my ass.
Actually, I tell you what, they would raise a lot of money for charity. I guess it started out as just fun, and it might actually happen. I would love to see that. But let's get into this Fanatics Tops deal. Yesterday, screenshots came up of a contract sent out to vendors, hobby shop owners, and they have until July 14th to sign it and get it back. And
they gave him a time frame. I didn't hear that part of it.
Yeah. So, do you want to fill everybody in on kind of what's happening with that, the news you heard, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm no insider. I'm just gonna try and blast through some comments as I'm talking here. Give some shout outs. Breakers, are they screwed or not? From what I gather, it seems like when you read through the legal mumbo jumbo in like detail, it doesn't sound like it's that different than the deal they were offered previously. Like, if you want to get allocation, you got to buy the bad stuff too. I mean, that's the way it's always been, right? I think what is sort of unsettling is if you're a hobby shop and you intend to break, do you have to use it through Fanatics Fanatics Live, which sort of cuts into your margin, and it is breaking, but it feels like you're sort of like not allowing this independent business to be operating on its own, that you're sort of manipulating how they're funneling you money. And I don't think that's not good for overall business.
No, here's how I feel like it is. I feel like Fanatics and Tops is now you don't have your own personal hobby shop. You are now McDonald's. And we're the owners, and we're going to tell you what's on the menu, and you can't have your own product, and we're going to operate, and you're going to report to us quarterly And you have to have a point, dude. There's a lot to this. You have to have a point of sale machine. There's no more of this willy-nilly old school stuff. It's you have to have point of sale and
Yep.
information that you're feeding to us. You're going to give us reports. Um, I think some of these shops are gonna struggle. Another part that I saw is it is going to affect these shops with braking, but they can still brake. But they're going to have you're going to have to sign up with them, and they're going to have to approve you. They're forcing people off of eBay, where it's going to be tougher to get product for sure.
Yeah.
And
I
I don't know if it's good for the hobby. I do not know if this is good for the hobby.
it really I often wonder this. Point of sale matters a lot. I mean, we know that braking goes on in the hobby, and that's where a lot of the product gets opened. You pay a lot of attention. We kind of focus on baseball a lot on our live streams because it's what we both know and love. Not that I wouldn't love basketball. I mean, I loved Topps Chrome basketball back in the day. I loved basketball back in the late 90s, but I don't want to pay the highest prices. I mean, that's probably where we're headed anyway. But I guess where I'm going with that is the way that they have it set up for the breakers that currently break the product. I mean, if they can't get it from Topps for a reasonable price, if the consumers aren't buying it anyway at the reasonable price, the sort of like the insider price, what does Fanatics do? I mean, do they really use this point of sale to sort of lower production runs, which would sort of go counter to 10xing the hobby? But let's be honest, we can all see this through, without needing glasses at this point. I mean, we could see it if we're blind. They're not trying to 10x the hobby. They're trying to 10x their revenue. That's all they're trying to do. They're going to figure out a way to do that. They don't care how many people are in the hobby, as long as they can 10x their revenue. That's it.
Yeah, they're taking out the middleman. They're controlling the supply. They're controlling. They want to get people breaking on their platform so they can take another cut of the money.
Yep.
Like for example, a guy like Hobby Legends. I've never been in a Hobby Legends break. I know there's people who watch the channel who have been, and Hobby Legends is no longer going to be able to do his 20 case player breaks because he's eBay came up with. I don't even know if we talked about that on the last episode. eBay came up with the policy that you're going to have to be approved to do breaks on eBay even. Does Hobby Legends get approved to sell on eBay? I don't know. That's a whole nother, complex thing. I also look at another group breaker. Or he's a hobby shop. He's a hobby shop, but I bet you he sells 90% of his sealed product on Facebook through breaks.
Right.
He sells some boxes, but you are right. It comes down to money. They're funneling money back to them. I don't think this is a good thing. Some of the other things in that contract were they want hobby shops to have a place for people to come down and sit down and open product. So that there was quite a bit on there outside of just how that was one of the ones that I specifically remember reading. I should have wrote them down, but that was one. The point of sale was one. The not selling. You're not able to sell online. You can break in store, but you're not able to like list stuff on Facebook and sell it. List it on eBay and sell it. So if you get a case of Bowman, 2024 Bowman, and you're trying to move it, they don't want you selling it to anybody else. It's interesting.
Right.
It is interesting.
Well, look, what's to keep a hobby shop owner from buying? I mean, I know maybe they probably also have a clause in there, but to buy his own product out of the store and then be able to take it home with him and then do whatever the hell he wants.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like
there's got to be some workarounds there. It's like, well, you can't prevent like the hobby shop owner who says, I got friends. I will funnel that. I know I can sell this for more or whatever. I'm going to I think they're already doing that today, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're probably doing that.
I would, if I was a hobby shop owner, I would like create an LLC that's a breaker. Like, okay, if this is Brett Comensoli's hobby shop, I'm gonna create Step in the Box break room on Facebook or wherever and be like, sell those cases.
Yeah,
But it says in that contract, man, if you break those terms, you're really messing with it. And somebody said here, what's it from these dealers to move away from that and go to Panini? Well, pretty soon,
that's any better.
Panini's not going to have football or baseball. I mean, they already lost baseball.
Well, doesn't that kind
They're
of
gonna
beg the
control it all.
question, though? The sort of like, I know that a lot of people mention the card shop by me, Indie Card Exchange, is like a modern card shop, the best card shop ever. They're good, but I wouldn't say they're like great. I mean, I go in there, supplies are the most common thing I buy from them. Now, if they had and I think they have an exclusive contract or have a contract with Fanatics, with Topps. By doing that, did they compromise their Panini relationship for the next year and a half? I don't know. I don't think they've been getting the greatest prices on a lot of the other products. I mean, I saw what they had Select for and what they had, Prism for when it came out, what they had Optic for. Wasn't that great? So I wonder, by doing so, are you cutting off the chance that you have diversity over the next 2 years before all the licenses funnel under the one roof? I don't know.
No, prices are still a problem.
Yeah.
This next year is going to be kind of interesting to watch because I've been reflecting on myself, and I'm like, I have opened up, even though it seems like I've opened up a lot of product, which I have this year. The majority of the product has been 2022 product or earlier products. I've opened up a little Series 1. I've opened up a little Series 2. I've opened up a fair share of Bowman. But if
Right.
you combine those all, it's the least amount of product I've opened up since 2016. I've
Right.
opened up to this point, and that leads us to another part of the Tops. No new products until at least July 11th. They delayed Tops Tribute. And I
This.
have a feeling we're going to get slammed again this fall with just
Oh yeah.
product after product after product.
It's good and bad at the same time, right? So for the low print run products, maybe like a Logo Fractor, maybe one of the Topps Chrome Gilded, maybe a Ben Baller. If for some reason they sneak Ellie De La Cruz and some of the other guys that got called up in those products, they'll be very good. I would like that. We would all like that. We're not going to make that mistake of skipping it, right? However, when they funnel them all out at the same time, if they do, our pocketbooks are not deep enough. Maybe breakers are, maybe hobby shops are, but the average consumer, there's no way our pockets are deep enough to cover all those bases and get enough of all that product to sample it, to hold it, to do whatever you want with it, right? So, yeah, I don't know what that's going to bring, but I'm hopeful that they won't eliminate Ellie De La Cruz from any product in 2023. That'll be great if he makes a product. Probably won't make update, but he'll probably be in some products, and that's good.
I wish Ellie De La Cruz would be an update because they're going to hold him. They're going to hold him for
That's too good.
Series 1 next year.
It's too good to be true. There's no way that he would have to go back down to the minors at this point. We'd have to put him in update. I just don't see that happening. They're not going to put him in a flagship product till next year. It's going to be one of those short print run products that he might end up in as a short print. And then that leads us to another point, Series 2 retail. You've seen enough of it opened right now. We're going to do a new series of box battles. We're going to do hanger boxes for the next, I don't know how many weeks as we're doing the show. I've got a bunch. Brett's got a bunch. I would say they're okay. A lot of people say like, oh my God, hangers are bangers again. I don't know. I've seen enough of them opened. Not as good as other products. Not even close. You can definitely hit a hot box or two. You can definitely hit a hot case or two. we talked about this a little bit last time, I think, about how when you look at the odds on the box and it says, 1 in 7 packs, 1 in 10 packs, whatever, I don't think that means an even distribution. I think there are ebbs and flows to that spike in the case of the hot case of fat packs. Because I saw, Stryker opened his, he got 6 or 7 heavy lumber cards. I've seen 2 more cases opened that didn't pull any heavy lumber cards, but pulled a bunch of other cards. So they're all over the place. They're probably way out in the long run in average. But if you get a sample size of, let's say, 8 boxes, you're not going to pull 1 gold guaranteed. You might pull 1 hot box, and it might be, a desert for the other 7. That's the way I see what they've done. Hey, Stryker's listening. He's here.
Just gave you a big shout out to Stryker. Thank you so much for that dono, my man. Good to see you. Hope all as well.
By the way, just for the record, I'm shocked that we have 81 people here because I know we were going head to head tonight with Sports Card Radio. We did not.
There's a lot going on tonight.
There's a lot going on tonight. We've got the NBA draft. We've got baseball. We've got Batter Up with Brett and John. I mean, this was a great Thursday, right?
Yeah, I want to love this product. There's a lot of good rookies, and I don't think it's a bad product, but it's not one that I want to go open up 500 hanger boxes.
Yeah. By the way, do you recall how many hanger boxes of Update you actually opened? Did you keep a tally of that?
Yeah, I opened up 600 hangers.
600.
I opened 600 hangers.
10 cases.
100 blasters. And a case of hobby.
That's a lot.
Hey man, when you find something good, you do. But I want to love this, and it's got some great stuff in it. It's just the hits aren't enough to really grind it out. To go buy 10 of them, it's fun. It's a blast. But
You wanted to touch on this 28 autos in the mega box, right?
Yep. So somebody reported on social media that they purchased a mega box of Topps Heritage in a Walmart and opened it up and got 28 hangers or 28 autos out of this. And then somebody else replied to it and said they pulled 29 autos out of their box. How insane, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if that's it, when it comes to buying product in retail, if that's the sort of, again, going back to the ebbs and flows of the rate of pulling cards, right? If you're going to tell me that you're going to give me a lot of dry cases with nothing, and then all of a sudden it's, the pot of gold under the rainbow, I don't know. I mean, it kind of it deters, but it makes it more likely to buy at the same time. I mean, the risk-averse person would say, hell no, I don't want to take a chance on that because I could get one of the 40 boxes that's completely dry, void of anything good. Yeah. And then the other person says, yeah, but this one box could have 28 auto. I mean, can you imagine if you opened up a hanger box and it had 4 autos in it? You would think
I'd be
crazy.
I'd be so pumped. I'm pumped to open a Stadium Club Chrome and getting 2 hits in the same pack. But
I know.
There's 2 morals to this. One, if you're watching out there, guys, girls, videotape your openings at home. It's not that hard to do. It really isn't. So videotape your stuff so if you pull something huge, you can share it. And 2, even products like Heritage can be awesome. I saw somebody pull a 101 Superfractor out of a fat pack. Somebody mentioned earlier in the comment section about the Lucille Ball 101 that came out of a fat pack, whether that was real or not. But imagine buying retail and pulling some of this stuff. It's amazing. That's why we do it. But quick before we move on too, Stryker, thanks for the dono. Guys and girls watching, I put every penny that I make off these ads and donos back into the channel. Stuff like this. I am trying to improve a little bit. Some people said this mic sounded pretty good. I'm pretty pleased about that. But what a night, man. We got a lot of people here. And again,
A lot of
lots going on with
a lot
Tops
of
and
people in here.
Fanatics.
Holy cow, do we ever have the people in here?
I love it. I love it.
I apologize if I'm not keeping up and giving everybody equal FaceTime. We don't want to be here till midnight, but man, we got a lot of comments, and I love them. And we will try to do our best. Brett, keep your eye out for some good comments. We do have a lot of topics to talk about, so anything you want to circle back on. I know we jumped around. We talked about the Fanatics thing with hobby shops. We talked about Series 2. We talked about the loaded boxes. We talked about releases and the release calendar. We want to talk about influencer boxes, not saying that anybody that we know gets them, but I saw that there was the Michael Rubin and the soccer player that opened the box, and somehow they miraculously both had great boxes back to back. I
Dude,
mean,
I had that on my list.
You can't make that stuff up.
I had that on my list, and I totally forgot about it. It's hidden up here in the corner. I've been doing a better job of jotting down notes during the week. And so they pulled the Mike Trout, and who was the other card? It was a cut auto.
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson cut auto. And so I watched Jabs open up a case of those. They're $1,000 a box.
Right.
And he's pulling like an Ozzy Albies.
Yeah.
They were bad. And I'm like, and here
are two people in a row who matter when it comes to influence. Somehow they pulled the greatest thing ever. I mean, what are the odds? It's like you at some point though, the marketing, you're not going to make a lot of friends with skeptics if you keep doing stuff like that, if it's not random. And people will see through it. So I doubt they listen to us, but if you're doing that, it's like, I shouldn't say the next thing I'm going to say because we might have kids watching, and it has nothing to do with not kid appropriate. It's just, I'll tell you afterwards, Brett. I was going to tell a story, but we might have kids watching. It is kid appropriate, but it's about kids. And anyway, we'll just leave that for afterwards. But too much of a good thing is a bad thing, right? Too many times when influencers open great boxes, it makes people skeptical. You cannot possibly have that repeated over and over again for people to believe in the illusion that you're being honest, right? In other words, you need some dry, bad boxes if you're going to do that, because otherwise people won't believe it. They will just say, what? Oh, so you just go and show up with Devin Booker and you guys open boxes and you pull the greatest thing ever? Like, you're not being honest, right? Like what happened with Drake when he was with Ken Golden last summer, and they were trying to hunt down the triple logo man, which I never understood the hype about, but they were. They opened cases of that and didn't pull it at all. So I believed that they opened random cases and were trying to truly hunt down that card. I don't know that I believe that Michael Rubin opened two boxes with a soccer player, and they both pulled something amazing.
It's just crazy. It's hard to believe
that I believe that. I want to believe it, but I don't.
If Panini or Topps or any card companies watching, just make the products fun. Put some cool stuff in there that we all like. I'm going to give an example. I'm not necessarily. I would love to open every single product. Like, I think there's a lot of products that are really, really cool. But Optic Football this year, you call it a weak rookie class, right? But Optic Football is intriguing because they made Optic Football better this year. I think it's a good product that's worthy to buy.
Well,
so just make the products
yeah,
fun and put some hits in them that are obtainable, and we'll all be happy that way.
Yeah, I think they did that with Select when they hit Select Retail, and everybody was pulling Justin Herberts and Joe Burrows left and right, and all the shiny green cards, the orange cards, you name it, the die cuts, on and on and on. And it was great for about 5 minutes. And then it was like, oh, okay, literally everybody's getting the same thing. Like, it's amazing. Like, wow, this is great. Oh my God. And it's like, yeah, but they don't really have a ton of value because everybody got the same thing. And they all got the same die cut of Justin Herbert with the green field level die cut. I mean, I think 5 influencers pulled that card back 2 years ago. So I agree with you. Optic retail, optic football for a crap rookie class was a fun, intriguing product, but don't go too far with it where
No.
it's so easy to pull Justin Herbert downtowns. And it's like, oh my God, before you know it, you've printed like 8,000 of them. Because that won't have any staying power either. But people really love the downtowns. So I will say this. I was a skeptic. Now, I open product. I open a lot of product. But I do buy some product to hold it, and I do buy some product to sell it. I don't think there's any shame in that. I'm not considered a flipper. But I bought optic football, and I bought a lot of it. And I'm glad I did. Because the boxes are probably going to increase in value. I'm probably not going to open any more of it. But I'm glad I bought some of it. I'm glad I wasn't scared away by the bad rookie class. Because the moment I saw you put downtowns in here and you put other case hits and they're attainable, people are going to want this product. So I'm not afraid to hold that product long term.
Yep. I like that. So I got a couple other things on the list. There's a couple good questions from neighbor Bob about rookie card we'll get to in a minute as you scroll through.
Oh, yeah.
But
I saw the video. Speaking of Victor, Cajun Cardboard had a really good video out, and he said, what would you rather have, a Victor Auto or a Honda Civic? And it apparently his green auto redemption out of the I think it was the Bowman Inception or the Bowman University, people are paying almost $12,000 for that. That's crazy.
That's
crazy. Did you guys not learn anything from Zion Williamson? I want to believe. I want to believe in Victor Wemby. Like, he's the best thing ever. But how many times have we seen this before? Over and over again. It was Yao Ming. It was Greg Oden. It was Kristaps Porzingis. It was Zion Williamson. It was – the guys can only be so good.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to be 3 times as good as the next guy. That won't happen. So
these big dudes get hurt all the time too, man.
The big dudes, he's a hybrid. He's more like a Kevin Durant than he is, a Brook Lopez or a Zion. He's a lanky dude, 7'4". The NBA plays an 82-game schedule. It's a grind, a lot of minutes, a lot of up and down. The pace is fast. It's asking for some of these dudes to get hurt. It's a grind. It is a hard, hard season. I watch a lot of basketball. I know how back-to-backs affect players. I know how minutes affect players. I cannot see Victor Wembanyama playing 82 games this season and playing 35 minutes a night. That won't happen. I'm a skeptic.
Yeah, I am too. If I was going to go put any money towards basketball cards right now, I would be looking to buy Ja Morant at the bottom. Because Ja Morant has some amazing game. If that guy turns the story and gets away from this crap, when he's on the court, man, that dude does some amazing things. And his stuff is cheap. His stuff is cheap.
I'll tell you a guy who's still too cheap. You know who I'm going to say.
Your boy.
That's right. De'Aaron Fox, man. I'm telling you. I don't want to I'm not pumping and dumping De'Aaron Fox. I'm still buying De'Aaron Fox. I believe in him, and I believe in the Kings. I'm telling you, he's going to take a step forward this coming season. You guys, Ja Morant not playing for 25 games. Who are they going to put on these nationally televised games and pump? I'm telling you, De'Aaron Fox. Obviously, they're going to put the Nuggets there. They're going to put the Warriors there. They're going to put the Phoenix Suns there. They're going to put the Lakers there. but they're going to put the Kings there finally, and people are going to see De'Aaron Fox play. He's still too cheap relative to some of the other players I just mentioned. Way too cheap.
Yeah, this is a good time to be buying a lot of players right now. The dead of summer here, guys. So if you're looking to pick up cards, this is a good time to pick up almost all sports. But speaking of under the radar, I was intrigued with this when Series 1 came out. When the guys from Real Breaks, I don't know the guy's name, but he was going with Real Breaks, and they were chasing the golden mirror bounty for $250,000, and they documented it a little bit, and there was some information, but I don't know if you guys saw this, but they did an after report.
Mm-hmm.
They did a report when it was all said and done. Okay, they profited 200, like just shy of 200,000. So they opened all these cases.
Oh, you're talking about the Golden Mirror bounty.
The Golden Mirror bounty.
Yeah,
So
I spaced out for a sec. I was looking at that comment saying nobody ever said that the Kings would be good with a straight face.
so they
sorry.
So they opened all those cases. They purchased singles off eBay. They made buybacks through breaks. They paid for their travels. And after it was all said and done, they profited 200K, like just shy of 200K. That is pretty amazing because they sold tons of cards on eBay. Real Breaks did for this guy. And I wish they would have done a better job of putting together a series of documenting that, because that would have been. I'm jealous because, dude, how fun would that have been opening up 150 cases of Series 1 jumbos just for a week straight, all day long, opening jumbos? That would have been so freaking fun. But so that came to a close where they had the numbers. I saw a video with it. I'll have to pass that on to you. I don't know if I sent that to you.
Yeah, I think you. So I watched the video. The only thing I would say is they had to float a lot of money, and yes, it worked out. But without the 250 grand in the bounty, they had to float a lot of money. Even though they made a vast majority of their money back, they were still $50,000 in the hole after all was said and done of selling and buying and selling and buying. They were 50 grand in the hole until they got the $250,000.
Yeah.
So if the bounty didn't happen, what it told me is that opening Series 1, as good as they worked to work their way back, and the premiums for the product that they were selling might have been influenced a little bit by the bounty, and the rookie class was good. But I would say that the fact that they were still 50 grand in the hole, that was a little eerie. I mean, that's a lot of money to float. You think about it.
I sat down when it was happening. I saw that. I'm like, man, you could buy those off eBay and put together a set. I was surprised how long it took them to actually get it put together and delivered. It took a lot longer than I expected it to. And they were opening cards, they were getting them out of breaks, and they were buying on eBay. I felt like you could have possibly beat them by just buying on eBay. The one thing I didn't anticipate is how much some of those cards were selling for. When I was looking at Update Series and the J-Rod SSP was selling for 1,500 to 2,000, and then there's like tons of dudes selling for $1,000 a piece from Series 1. I was like, wow. But what a cool story.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool thing, and I'm glad it worked out, because if it didn't work out, I guarantee many people wouldn't chase that in the next round. That I definitely think that was an interesting, way that played out overall. So
here, hold on one second. My other thing is the $1 million bounty for the 101 Magic card. I was at Meyer today, and I'm like, man, I should buy a box of Magic. Maybe I'll pull that one of on, but I didn't know if it was in retail or not. I don't even know what product it was for sure, but a 101 Magic card, $1 million bounty. I think it's David Adams's putting that one up. Are there any people who collect Magic in the comment section? What product is it actually in? I don't even know what it's called. I think there was a box at Meyer. It was new.
Yeah, I used to play Magic back in the day when I was in college. We had a group of us that played at lunch. I haven't played it in years. My son used to collect Magic cards, but not really. Bounty 2 million, Lord of Rings. That's what Ziggy said.
Yeah, somebody else. I had heard that too. That somebody was offering 2 million over the million.
I saw that. It
I'm
looked
not
like a
sure who
cool
that was
card.
though.
I'm not gonna.
Dude, that card looks
That card
amazing.
looked really cool.
Again, I wish I wasn't amateur hour here. We could just start doing screenshots of that stuff. Lord of the Rings. That's just
I can't
crazy, dude.
screenshots because I'm doing this on an iPhone.
See, we need
You
a
are way
whole.
more high tech than me. I should have like panels and screens and all sorts of lighting, and I don't have that. I
I
am.
want a soundboard. Do you ever watch any? I am subscribed to a million breakers because I just like seeing recaps of cases to get an idea what's coming out of them.
Uh-huh.
And Filth Bomb Breaks, dude, they have like the button they push to make the different sounds,
Oh yeah.
like like a nuke going off, and it's I wish I could do that here.
I do like to edit videos when I can do that sort of thing, but it just takes a lot of time. So for me, the best I do on videos lately is when I might do a voiceover for a video. I might do an audio over, but a lot of times I just try to focus on good quality content, try to keep it short. Always watch my videos in 2x speed. It's a much more enjoyable experience. I promise you that. And I try to make the thumbnail nice. That's been my thing, is like making the thumbnail visually appealing so somebody clicks on it. But for me, I'd love to do all that extra stuff, but you gotta like say when enough is enough somewhere, and it's just a hobby, not a full-time job. But try to balance.
You got to keep it fun. That's what I've tried to do with this too. Is I've told a lot of people when it starts to become a job, that's when it's not fun anymore. I also told Stu, who's in the comment section, I said, I'm not just opening up crappy products to keep doing videos. I want to open stuff that I like. And you know what product that I saw at Meyer today was, it was an Upper Deck Marvel. I don't know what Marvel something. I
Mm-hmm.
sent you the picture of the box.
It was a lure or something like that, or
That might have been, I was like, that looks pretty cool. And there was only two of them. I was like, man, maybe I'll buy these, but they were $31.99. I said, I don't need to buy these, and
yeah, Marvel
went about my way.
for trading cards. The one with Chris Evans on the front, Captain America, I think.
But the box looked cool. Made me want to buy it.
Well,
Marvel's always
that's good marketing, right?
It is.
I've seen some of the hobby boxes open. They're not bad.
Not bad.
They're all right.
All right. What else you got, my man?
The Select bait and switch. I saw Neo Cards and Comics made a video about this. I kind of knew that this would happen too, but you know how they put the XRCs, the redemptions for the autos in the or the rookie autos, and they say like rookie card 1, rookie Q, or rookie QB 1, rookie running back 1 or 2 or 3. They came out with a checklist today, and it is missing a few guys. It looks like CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis, and maybe a few others do not have signatures in that product.
That's just crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
How do you not have that? Because I watched a break of Select Football, and the guy had the lineup on the top, and there were like 6 redemptions of all the RB1, QB1, QB2. I mean, the whole row was redemptions.
It was crazy. Yeah, and Ziggy brings up a great point here. In Neo's video, he did say that they did put up Panini Instant or Panini Now. They have sticker signatures of them. And so it's like, why didn't you put them in the XRCs? Like, you didn't make those cards yet. You can theoretically update the checklist to put them in. And How do you think the people who bought the product on eBay, who bought the redemption of the XRC QB1, thinking what they were getting was, who was the number one pick? Was it CJ Stroud or Bryce? I can't remember. It was Bryce Young, right?
You know,
Thinking they were getting Bryce Young and they're getting Anthony Richardson.
Melo has a good.
How do they feel about that?
I totally forgot about this, that those guys signed deals with Fanatics. I totally forgot about that. I saw that, but so they can't sign for Panini.
Oh, he says, yeah, XRC was on card. I forgot about that. So, yeah, that's a great point. So, yeah, those stickers that they're putting up now were the ones they had already had from the college products. Good point. And, yeah, I just, the only, I think people who inflated the box prices of those, who were buying into the breaks, trying to get those XRC redemption cards, it was hot until the checklist came out, and now it's going to cool off massively. And then I really feel bad for all the people who bought on eBay, who bought the redemption card, not knowing what you're getting. And then now you're like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. Like, I hope Anthony Richardson is Tom Brady, because you probably paid way too much for that card. But
yeah,
I'm glad I don't play in that game. I am glad I don't play in that game.
Dude, I was telling the lady at Meyer today. I said, you know, there's a reason that I have stuck to baseball, because it's cheap. The football game, and again, Melo hits it up. It said it's like LeBron with upper deck. So these guys sign with Fanatics, so they can't even sign for them. I totally forgot about that, man. It's just, there is so much going on within the sports card world right now. There's no products coming out, but in terms of baseball, but holy crap, the news is flying everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. We got a few people in here who we don't see very often. Filmington. Met him
in the house.
Filmington in the house. Really good baseball dude. I hope you're going to the National this year. I don't know how many days you're staying. And Ziggy as well. Brett, you're going to be there more days than me unless my schedule changes, but we got to find a way to hook up with more people at the National. We're going to have a lot of people there. It should be a lot of fun. Can't wait. That's another topic we can touch on briefly, but it's almost just about a month away.
Dude, I know. It's coming up so fast.
Ramping up fast. Are you excited?
I'm really excited, and I've been thinking about it a lot. If anybody watching, if you're there, man, don't be bashful. Come on up. Say hi to me and John. I would love. The reason I like this hobby is because you meet a lot of cool people. You get a chance to socialize. So come on up, say hello.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chat going on tonight, which is awesome.
Yeah. People are razzing us a little bit. Why are we talking football and XRCs? I thought this was batter up. Yeah, it's a good point. But it's sports too. And
I like all sports cards. I mean, you know, a product that's going to be the hottest of all of them next year is going to be the hockey, the Young Guns hockey. Oh, with this dude that's going to get drafted to the Blackhawks.
The 18-year-old.
That might be the most sought after card yet in a long. I mean, that's the next Gretzky, they're saying.
It could be.
And then there's a lot going on within the baseball world. Henry Davis was 1 for 10. Then he hit a bomb tonight. The Cubs are playing the Cardinals over in London. You got Ellie De La Cruz. I mean, there's a lot of good races going on. Stu said Connor Bernard for hockey. Wander got benched because of his.
Did he really?
Because he's throwing some. I didn't see the video, but he has not been handling his temper very well. So they benched him for 2 games. I mean, this is crazy. And then Mellow Card just had a good one. I don't know if you can go down to Mellow.
This one?
He said thoughts on Topps Chrome baseball this year. Expectations QC.
The design of the card would look really good in a refractor. It would look really good in color. I would hope that we see better QC this year. I think we will see something similar to what we saw with Stadium Club Chrome, but I don't want to speak too soon. One thing speaking of chrome products and speaking of flagship, do you ever wonder? I know they do a standard color rainbow of green and blue and aqua and red and purple and orange, and I go on and on. One sick parallel that they never put in chrome would be an Independence Day.
That would be amazing.
It looks so nice, especially. Can you imagine like the Independence Day from like Ohtani's rookie year if that was in a chrome product? Oh my God,
that would be nuts.
So visually appealing.
I have kind of low expectations on the quality control. However, I sent Mello and Eddie a screenshot today. I looked at the pop report of 2023 Bowman autographs that were graded. And then I also looked at the graded cards of the prospects.
Yep.
I pulled up the pop report, and I was expecting to see like 50% gem rate. And don't shoot me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like just over 60% for the autos. I can't remember what it was for the base. Because when I've been looking at 2023 Bowman cards, I've been like, man, this is bad. But there's more cards getting 10s than I thought. And I've seen a lot of people getting returns back from PSA, and they're just getting absolutely, pounded.
Yeah.
Pounded. Run Good Life.
I didn't see it. 500 cards, right?
Yeah, he did part 1 today, and I'm like, dude, whoever he had to look over his cards, he needs to fire him because he was getting 7s and 8s on some of them.
Yeah, I feel like if you turn in that big of a sample size, you're just asking for that. I have 2 orders that should come back soon. They went to assembly today. One of them is a small order under regular service. Another one's the value bulk, whatever the special was, $15. I got slaughtered. I didn't get super slaughtered, but I kind of got slaughtered on my last PSA order. So I don't know. I'm a little skeptical. I want to be hopeful, but I'm a little skeptical on that one. And I got another order ready to go out, and I have another one that's there that arrived. So, they're 10 to 15 card orders. It's not going to break the bank. I'm so glad I didn't submit 500 cards. My God. Can you imagine?
It's crazy. So I had one other thing that I wrote down, and it's not even sports related, so people can say this isn't baseball either, but Taylor Swift had the biggest attendance at Pittsburgh Stadium, bigger than any sporting event, everything. Did you see any of the videos from that?
No, but I know my sister went to a Taylor Swift concert on that same tour. She was, I think they went to one in Phoenix or something like that, or one of the California stadiums.
The stadium was absolutely packed.
Yeah.
The outside was packed. Across the river was packed. I went to the dentist a couple weeks ago, and I've known the lady who cleans my teeth for quite a while, and she was talking about that. And when they were at Soldier Field, there's videos of Soldier Field of the stands bouncing.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw the fact that that's crazy. I know stuff like that has a little bit of give in it. It's meant to sort of have a little bit of give, so it's not so rigid, but it is weird.
Mello says it's because T Swift is smoking.
Yeah.
What else you got for us, John?
I was just going to touch on the NBA draft. Obviously,
yeah, have at it.
Just while we're actually going here, more picks have happened. Turns out the Pacers probably were drafting for the Wizards because they actually subsequently traded that pick from the Pacers. They drafted the dude out of the Metropolitans 92. They traded him to the Wizards, who were picking right behind them, and they got Jerice Walker from Houston. And now we're about halfway through the first round, and they picked Grady Dick and Derek Lively. But I'm curious who the Kings get at 24. Kings make
I just don't know who half of these dudes are.
Kings might have made a trade. I don't see them. Oh, wait, no, they are. It's Sacramento. I was looking for Kings. I think they might get Chris Murray, who is Keegan Murray's brother. I think that'd be a pretty cool story if they both end up on the same team. We'll have to see.
Man, next thing you know, the end of summer will be here. Football will be starting to crank up. Football
Yep.
prices will be going crazy.
I've got
Baseball playoffs will be starting.
I got some football ready to go and sell ahead of the national. I've got it all lined up, ready to go.
I do too. And my last PSA order that I sent in, it arrived on June 6th, and it is still not. It checked in, but it has not been entered. And here
Yeah,
it's June 22nd, so I got another order.
my last order that arrived was checked in about a week after it got there. Actually started working on it, and it just now got out of grading into assembly. So it's a little slow. I don't think we're seeing 32 days right now. We're seeing probably 50 days maybe. That sound about right?
Yeah, it's
We're
gonna
gonna
be.
have the next couple of orders. We're gonna have to figure out what the turn time on them was, because my last order that went into assembly today, they got it on June 1st. They prepped the order on June 9th, and today is the 22nd, and it went into assembly. So,
Wow, you got that in just in time before the craziness. But did you see the news that CSG and CCG combined, second largest grading company?
Weren't they the same company anyway?
I didn't think so.
CCG and CSG were basically under the same umbrella. They spun off the CSG trying to get sports card market, cornered. Wasn't ever really successful. I don't have a problem combining it, because they obviously had a really good comic book pedigree. I'm not a comic book guy. I know nothing about it, so I won't even pretend to know anything about it. I think the biggest gripe I heard is people don't like the fact that they created yet another label that is dissimilar from where the comic books were and the cards were. And it just feels like it's confusing people a little bit. So people are very particular about not only the company where they get their cards from, but the style of the label. Now, anything's better than that god-awful green label they had. But
that was bad.
Have you ever seen a CSG slab in person?
Dude, they're clear as ice.
They're clear. They're crystal clear. They're rigid. They look really nice. I even like I liked the new label with the holographic look and the black and white and the gray. Really good monochromatic look. If I was grading cards for PC that I didn't ever want to sell, I wouldn't mind doing it. But the price point would have to be so good for me to do that. And I would never have to want to sell that card. If I had a card like a Curry card that I'd say, look, I just want it in a slab for the visual aesthetics of it. I never want to sell this card ever. CSG for $8. Okay, fine. Because the label and the slab looks really good. But the moment you say, well, would I ever sell it? Would I care? Is there a price point difference? And then it just makes you go back to PSA. So.
Yeah, they're going to a whole new label again. They're getting away with the half grades. They're going 10, 9.
Yep.
And I think that's a good thing. I think they're going after a rival with PSA because, like Mello just said, PSA or get kicked to the yams. Simple as that. And I agree. If you're looking for value, it's PSA all the way.
That's a fair point. I hadn't thought of that. People go to PSA for the resale. But if they feel like PSA is being overly stringent on a 10 and they're not giving out a 10, even though the resale of the 10 is good, is it worth the risk of not getting near enough 10s that you feel are worthy? And I think that is an interesting question. I don't know that we want to cover it in this episode, but to me, that's a really good thought-provoking thing. If the gem rate on a product, if you say, I'm going to send 100 Stadium Club Chrome cards to PSA, I'm going to send 100 to CSG, I'm going to send 100 to SGC and Beckett, and I'm going to believe that they looked at them all fairly. If PSA gives you 20% gem rate, the others give you all equal 47%, I think you got to wonder where you're going to spend your money. Even though the value is there for the 10, you got to wonder where you're going to spend your money if you're just not going to get a 10.
We could do a whole episode on grading and come up with something. But man, what is the guy's name? He just came out with a video a couple weeks ago about this exact topic.
Oh, you're thinking of a baseball card collector, investor, dealer.
Yes, he just came up with that video.
Yeah,
and if you guys can find that video, it is worth watching. He breaks down a couple cards, and he shows the breakdown of the average of where they should, if you were going by the pop report, and the values, and PSA, plain and simple, is the way to go if you're looking to make some money.
Well, and that's true, but when they run the specials, if the gem rate, if they turn down the wick on the gem rate, and it's not 55% on average, and they got to be honest, right? If we're submitting stuff we shouldn't, then fine. If we're making the errors, fine. But it just seems odd, and I've seen this so many times, myself included. You mentioned Run Good Life, Sky B, all of them. I don't know them, but when I look at what they gem in a sample size of 100, during the specials, it's about 20 to 25%. And then during the non-specials, it's about 45 to 70%. There is a distinct difference between those two populations. Now, if you, who normally get a 70% gem rate, let's say you're typically around 70%, got a good eye, good trained eye. If you send it in during the specials and you still get a 70% gem rate, then my argument would be null and void. It wouldn't make sense. But if all of a sudden during the specials, you're getting 37% or 40%, you would say, even for me, I'm not getting what I used to get, which would mean that there is a distinct difference in behavior for that price point. And that isn't right. I'm not saying it's happening, but I think what I would like to see on gem rate data, I know they do a great job on Instagram with gem rate data. Show us during the specials whether the gem rate statistically changes enough to be an outlier.
I'll be right back. I got to take Tracker out. He really wants to go.
Okay.
Also, if you want to fill some time, it'll take me 2 minutes, but somebody asked earlier, what's the deal with Fanatics, aka Tops, too? A little recap, and then we can box battle. I'll be back in 60 seconds. Fill some wave. Come on.
All right. Hope he puts it on mute. If he was going to the bathroom, that would be embarrassing. But we had a couple years where that could have happened. But yeah, for those who didn't join the live and you haven't gone back, when you could go back and watch it, we talked about the Fanatics thing. We talked about whether or not it was going to be good for hobby shops. I think the consensus was that it probably isn't a good thing, but it may not be as bad as we think it could be. But I would say, even though Fanatics is sort of controlling the purse strings of hobby shops and really having eagle eyes on them when it comes to point of sale and stuff like that, I would say that we have to see it play out. And if the prices need to come down and Fanatics can't fetch the high prices because the product doesn't move, they're going to figure that out, I would think. But Brett's back. All right. Somebody asked why I haven't done any eating contests lately. So I did do one in May. Neighbor Bob, you really want to know? On a sad note, my father-in-law passed away about 3 weeks ago, and it was right during the Nathan's qualifiers, and I actually had to pull out of the one that I was in. It just didn't feel like the right time to go forward with that, with the stuff going on with family. But we've got a couple contests coming up. I don't know for sure I'm going to be in, but I really want to go back to Dallas and do that tamale contest. I need to do a savory food contest. I hated that donut hole contest because I just don't like the food. Nothing against Jack's Donuts. Jack's Donuts owner was great that night, but that product sucks. It is so monotone. I need something with flavor and depth. Tamales sound absolutely delicious. I want to go eat as many tamales as I can in 10 minutes. I'm hoping to do a contest at the end of September, and if it's not then, it'll be early October.
I was listening the whole time. Thanks for doing that, dude. Yeah, man. Sorry to hear about your father-in-law. It sucks.
Yeah, it
But
does.
I tell you what, I'll be July 4th in the morning. I'll be at my parents watching the Nathan's hot dog eating competition.
I know
I
where
think
I'll
it's
be.
at 11 or noon every year. I think it's 11.
I think it's 11 Central, noon Eastern.
Yeah,
So I will
yeah.
be in Canada. I will be watching probably on YouTube if I can get it on a phone. If there's an international plan we can buy for a decent price, or I got maybe bring my work phone with. Fingers crossed it works. I think it usually does. But or we'll be at a hotel, I think, on that night that actually has Wi-Fi, so we should be okay there. But yeah, we'll be in Canada. We'll be in Banff National Park on the 4th of July. So I'll be thinking of hot dogs. I might do some eating contests while I'm out there as far as like restaurant challenges. We'll see. I just put on an exhibition, but you know, I really wanted to do Nathan's this year, and honestly, the right now the bar for qualifiers for the wild card, it stands at 18. 18 is the third person right now. I I could have been so close. I think with a little bit of luck on that day, I probably could have done 18 or 19. So we still have one more qualifier. We have to see how that plays out. But, you know, it's hard to believe that I would have been literally within – I could have been there. Right now, there was a guy that I know I usually compete with, and I'm right there with him, and he's right now sitting in that catbird seat. And he might get beat this weekend to be out, but it's very interesting to see how that played out. I could have had a chance.
It's crazy, man.
But next year, I mean, unless the family member passes away again,
we'll be back in action, ready to destroy.
Back at it better than ever. So, all right. You want to
one more baseball topic that I had that I'm keeping an eye on, man, as the summer approaches and the trade deadline. I'm interested to see what happens with Ohtani, if they're going to trade him, maybe.
You mean ahead of the trade deadline?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep him and sign him. That guy is doing some incredible things. $500 million player coming up. That's a good story right there. But let's do it. Let's box battle this baby.
Yeah. Let's hope for good luck.
Top Series 2 hanger, guys. Let's see what we got here.
I forget where. I think I bought this at. This is one of the Walmart ones I got in Wisconsin, in Manitowoc, Wisconsin.
This is a I'm trying to think of where this one's from. This is a Wally World Online special.
All right.
Talking about Rui stealing bases in the chat. Is Arise going to hit 400 for the season?
Ooh.
I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on in the baseball
I think I have a
world.
blue insert, maybe. I don't think it's a retail blue. I think it's like a blue insert. Could be a Father's Day blue.
These rule changes have made baseball a whole lot of fun. Base Corbin Carroll rookie card. Speaking of an exciting player. Wish we could pull a parallel of him.
All right, let's see here. Get near the middle. Did you get near the middle of your pack yet?
I'm getting close. It's not looking promising. Although I got a backwards card. I got a Stars of the MLB Chrome, and I have a numbered card. I do have a numbered card, John. It's a blue, and it's a non-rookie.
Who led the league in home runs in 2021?
2021, was that Judge?
It was Vlad Guerrero.
Crawford. Vlad?
I've got a Vlad Guerrero All-Star Game blue.
That's a cool card.
Yordan Alvarez, Jeremy Pena. This is an Astros box. The 4 crappy stars of the MLB. You know, they put Alek Manoah in the checklist of stars of the MLB. I don't know that this dude is a star at the moment. He's down in single.
No, he got set down. Yeah, he was now not good.
Tristan Costas, Corbin Carroll, stars of the MLB. He is a star. Yoshida. This dude looks like he's crying. I don't know what the hell they did with his eyes. They look weird. Looks like he's crying. Maybe it's because he's on the A's. I'd cry too if I was on the A's. Anthony Volpe base. Don't know what else I'm going to find. Let's see here. Get anything else? Lindor. But you really forget how many of these dudes were not in Series 1 because I didn't open a lot of Series 1. But, like, I would have sworn that Anthony Volpe was in Series – or not Anthony Francisco Lindor. I would have swore he was in Series 1.
Yeah, I know. You would have thought so.
But he was not. What'd you get?
This was a blue Cutter Crawford out of $9.99. Not that great a box, not going to lie. Corbin Carroll. I mean, it was decent. Got a numbered. I can't complain. Got a numbered card. And I would say your Vladdy beat me, but
I
I'm
don't
going to
know.
open this anyway while people are on, just because.
I got a
You don't have
Vladimir
to, but
Daddy.
I'm opening this bad boy. I'm doubling down. I just want to open something. I have not opened much this week. John went to a race on Sunday.
I know. I always do IndyCar picks, and I didn't do a video this week because I was actually at the race in Road America. For those of you out there who are race fans, if you've never been to Road America, go. It's a great time. They just repaved the track. It was lightning fast. It was a great time. Huge crowd. What a crowd. The one thing I will say, I make IndyCar picks. I'm usually right. I'm it's kind of like the old adage, 60% of the time I'm right every time, right? My win percentage is affected this year by one guy, Alex Palou. He has won 3 out of the last 4 races, and I can never get him right. I picked him in the Indy 500, and he finished 4th. I didn't pick him in any of the other 3 wins, and I have picked the second place driver in every single one of those races, but I didn't pick Alex Palou. So I cannot get Alex Palou right. And I know what'll happen. The next race at Mid-Ohio on July 2nd, I'll pick Alex Palou, and he won't win. Because my strategy's always been IndyCar has a lot of parity. And you never know who's going to win. And by and large, you don't have a dominant car. So somebody different wins every race. And so if you pick a guy and he won, usually going into the next race, you don't need to worry about him because he's not going to win again for a couple more races. But this year, Alex Palou is curve-wrecking that whole thing. But yeah, the race in Road America, we went up there for a wedding and to do also some funeral prep stuff still. So it was a lot of fun. And I tried to get Brett to go with, but Brett had a neighbor out of the town, and he had to still take care of Tracker. But
yeah, my backup plans, they were going camping. But I did watch on TV, and holy crap, man. Those dudes were off the track like crazy.
Yeah.
It was a good race from home.
They just repaved the track, like I said. It was fast, but it was very slick offline. And the track has not completely rubbered in yet across the entire track. And the racing line is rubbering in really nice. And there's a lot of oil still in the track. And the tire compound that they use, whether it be on the reds or the blacks, it didn't work well offline. So passing was a little bit tougher this year. Would you go back-to-back on Corbin Carroll?
Corbin Carroll, so not the worst thing.
Not bad.
Second box wasn't that great.
But yeah, if you are race fans, you ever get a chance to get up to Road America, go there for the June race every year, the IndyCar race. It's awesome. A lot of fun, huge crowd. What a crowd. I was astonished at how it looked. They must have had 80,000 people there. It was the busiest I have ever seen it.
That's amazing.
And yeah,
I'm looking forward to. I kind of want to go, but I'm not going to be around. I'm not going to come back for it. But NASCAR is putting that road course up, street course in Chicago, and I did not realize how much construction they were going to have to do for this race. They started last week with this construction, man. I'm looking forward to watching that one on TV from home. I don't know if many people on here watch NASCAR racing. It's a special taste.
I don't know that I saw a preview of it. Dale Jr. was doing some laps in like a pace car. That track might actually be surprisingly good because I think it's.
I hope so.
I think the streets are relatively wide, which will increase the ability to run side by side, especially through the corners. Even though there's a lot of 90-degree corners and that might be a little boring, I think the track is simple enough where the pavement will be level and wide enough for some decent racing overall. But it is a very simple track. It's just kind of like two rectangles kind of opposing each other. That sort of meet in the middle where there's like, two, one going this way, one going that way, like turn 1 goes this way and like turn 7 or something goes the other way. So
those cars are going to be loud down there.
Oh yeah. Amongst the tall buildings. I sent Brett a video while I was at the track. I don't know, Brett, you those cars rip.
They are, dude, they're fast. Neighbor Bob says I need to see a race at Watson Glens. For anybody who's in the chat who's never been to a race, whether it's NASCAR race, IndyCar, F1, if you are within reasonable distance, grab a friend. It is nothing like on TV. When you are at the place and you see those cars go by, it's insane. And it's nuts.
The video I took, the backstretch where it was between the kink and Canada Corner. I was literally 5 feet off the track. Like the fence is right there and the spectator fence is like right behind it. You're like 5-10 feet off the track at that point. It's the closest you'll be. And it's 185 mile an hour straight. And it's through the trees, so it echoes. It's just amazing. If you're into cars, that is my favorite place to watch is between the kink and Canada Corner.
It's nuts, man. But holy cow, what a week. We had so much. We talked about Fanatics tops, freaking the $1 million bounty on a Magic card, the hot boxes from Heritage, no tops products, CSG, CCG, merger. I mean, and much, much more. The NBA draft, Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg in a UFC fight or a boxing match. That'd be amazing. But thanks for tuning in. Got a big shout out to Stryker for
the dono.
For the dono earlier. Yeah, thank you so much. Hopefully the mic worked out. Seemed to be okay. People didn't say much, so I'm pretty happy with that. Trying to upgrade a little bit. So it's not too much of amateur hour, but it's always going to be amateur hour, baby. And John, you're the man. Happy Thursday. Everybody out there, have a wonderful weekend coming up. Got any parting shots, John?
Nah, just enjoy June here. It's almost over. Enjoy the nice long nights and daylight if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. And everybody have a great rest of your week. I don't know what we'll do our next batter up. We might do next Thursday. I will be available, but then I'm out of town for a couple weeks. So, yeah, that's all I got. Enjoy the NBA draft if that's what you're into. Enjoy the MLB season as it grinds on. And Brett, take us out of here.
Take care, everybody. Until next time. Peace.
See you guys.